Years before the saga of Geralt of Rivia, when magic and beastly peril had just come to the continent, 5 competing Witcher schools trained their adepts. Become one of the Witchers. Explore the land by seeking trouble around cities and adventures in the wild. Meet folk from all around the continent and make difficult moral choices that impact your story. Use magical potions, develop your abilities, play dice poker, and master sophisticated combat techniques to brawl with other Witchers and do what Witchers are trained for: hunt horrible monsters. Across the vast continent, dangers abound. Each beast has their unique abilities, which makes fighting them a real challenge. You'll face Lesher, Fiend, Harpy, and many more. Killing monsters and collecting their trophies is the best way to prove your courage and skill. Each Witcher starts their adventure with a deck of cards that will grow as they travel around the map. For combat, you will use strong or fast attacks, dodges, and powerful magic signs to your advantage. Create mighty combos to defeat your foes. Prepare your deck to be the last man standing in every fight. And become the best Witcher in the old world.
Welcome all Witcher fans from around the world. We are more than happy to have you here with us. Creating a board game set in the Witcher world has been our big dream for a long time, and we have poured our hearts and souls into this project. With the Witcher Old World, our goal is to create a game that will give you the opportunity to immerse yourself in the Witcher world and create your own story. You will travel, train, trail monsters, play dice poker, and encounter a wide variety of thematic choices. And most of all, you'll fight monsters and even brawl with other Witchers.
When Go On Board came to us with the final pitch and prototype, after a few rounds I already had the feeling that this will be a great game, and one that can only work in the Witcher world. The CD Projekt Red team has been very hands-on when it comes to the development of the game, not only to ensure the consistency of the world, but also to provide feedback and a new perspective on the game itself. It's all about creating a fun and engaging experience for all players, including newcomers too and veterans of the Witcher saga. As an avid board gamer, I'm really excited to see all of your reactions.
Edmund lived in a house during the pandemic with his wife and 2 kids. Life was difficult, and they were losing their minds. That's when they heard a voice from the phone. "It's time to do another Kickstarter, Edmund. This Kickstarter must feature a giant expansion to 4 Souls. Reprint all the old cards and present them in an amazing collectible box." "Yes, Lord. Anything," Edmund replied. "It must also contain tons of Isaac-themed merchandise that people can add to their order. Even if they don't want the card game, all backers should have access to this one-stop Isaac shop." "Yes." "It will feature limited edition promo cards drawn by amazingly cool artists, and even cameo cards from other games and series. And social goals! We need social goals! Super crazy stuff for fans to enjoy and celebrate 10 years of the Binding of Isaac. And you should draw people and sign stuff and do tons of live streams and interviews. You must spread the word of Isaac to the world. Make this the biggest Kickstarter ever. Give the fans every single thing they could ever ask for. Make all their wildest dreams come true." Without thinking, Edmund agreed to this, and threw himself down into the unknown depths below.
Hello, Internet! It is me, Edmund McMillan, and I'm back again with more Binding of Isaac. You can't get enough, and I can't stop making stuff. They call me a one-trick pony, but the trick is fucking good and you know it, so we're gonna keep doing the trick. We've got 4 Souls expansions, we've got shitloads of cards, we've got cameos from other games, we've got alternate art cards, we've got plush toys, we've got fucking hats, a beanie. There's a pink beanie you could wear on your head. It's very phallic-like. What I'm getting at here is that it's time to have some fun with the Binding of Isaac again. One of the biggest features is a giant expansion called Requiem for 4 Souls, which will add almost double the number of cards in the game, but also add a full new deck of cards called the Room Deck, which be like global modifiers for the game that edit basically everything you do. There's also charmed enemies, and then one of the bigger things is that every tainted enemy will have representation in the game. We're gonna have something I call the Big Box, and it fits like 1,000 cards. It's an ideal tier for those of you who have the base game and want the new expansion. It comes with the Requiem expansion. It comes with heart tokens, comes with a new bag to hold your heart tokens that has blood all over it, and it's got a bunch more extras that we're gonna just pack in there as we kind of unlock stuff. Last time we got people to do wacky shit, and it unlocked cards, like crying on camera, or explaining to your mom what the story of the Binding of Isaac is. People get Gilbert Godfrey to say, "The Binding of Isaac." I just really love the experience, and I know a lot of the people involved also really love the experience, and I want to do it again. There'll be a checklist of things that people need to do, and we'll kind of go off the checklist and start unlocking packs of cards. One of the things I want to have people do is reenact an infamous fight between your parents. This Kickstarter is really about celebrating Isaac and celebrating the fans, and we listened to you last time, and trust me, I remember everything you said. During this Kickstarter, we want the same thing to happen. We want you to give us feedback so we know what you want. It's the 10-year anniversary of the Binding of Isaac this year, and how better to celebrate than with this kind of crazy Kickstarter again, where we can kind of have fun causing chaos online. Big thanks from me to you. I want to do really cool stuff, so I'm thanking you in advance for all the cool stuff that you will do. Binding of Isaac, 4 Souls, Reborn.
Hi, I'm Paul, and this is Spintronics. Spintronics is a new type of game where players build mechanical circuits to solve puzzles, create crazy contraptions, and in the process discover how electronics work. Electronics is central to our lives. It's the foundation of modern technology. I've taught electronics to college students and now to my own kids, but it's a famously difficult subject. It's invisible and it's abstract, so we have to rely on advanced math to understand it. The math makes it challenging for students, and it puts a hard stop on how much kids can learn. And that's so unfortunate, because there are few subjects as naturally compelling as electronics. It's about bending raw energy, starting with a simple force, and splitting it, storing it, multiplying it, reversing it, resisting it, and otherwise shaping it to your will. Spintronics finally grounds electronics in a physical, tangible form. It's the first physical equivalent of electronics ever built. Instead of electrons running through wires, it uses chains running between sprockets, and every electronic component has its spintronic counterpart. Resistors, switches, capacitors, batteries, ammeters, inductors, transistors, and junctions. Add parts to the magnetic surface and connect them together with chain to build a spintronic circuit. Charge the battery, and then play with it. Hold the chain with your fingers and feel the pull of voltage. Watch how the current runs through the circuit. Drag your finger on a part to add resistance. Build a deep, intuitive understanding of circuits grounded in physical, tangible play. With Spintronics, you can focus on the clever tricks and strategies of circuit building without getting tangled up in the abstract math. Once a solid intuition for electronics is developed, the math can come later. The puzzle book leads players to discover how to build circuits through a series of increasingly difficult puzzles. In each puzzle, players must build a circuit that meets certain requirements, to produce a certain voltage or to generate a certain waveform. The puzzles are woven through a graphic novel in which you become Natalia, the daughter of master clockmakers from the late 1800s. In a time before electronics power the world, she discovers an alternative technology that revitalizes her town. Your job is to help her build increasingly sophisticated Spintronics circuits to meet the needs of the townsfolk. Spintronics ended up being way too big for one kit, so I split it into 2 parts, Act 1 and Act 2. Act 1 covers basic and some intermediate DC concepts. Act 2 goes on to cover more intermediate and advanced concepts like feedback and oscillators. Spintronics is absolutely not just for kids. The challenges eventually get quite difficult even for adults, and it doesn't matter who you are, it'll change the way you see electronics forever. Pick any electronic circuit, and you can probably build the Spintronic equivalent. Build basic circuits like series and parallel, to more advanced circuits like flip-flops and oscillators. It's one thing to understand the concept of a circuit. It's another thing entirely to watch it and feel it with your hands. This was a risky project. I wasn't even sure if it'd be possible. But after 3 years and hundreds of iterations, I'm so happy with how it turned out. At this point, Spintronics is fully designed, the art is complete, and we've even begun making injection molds. But we still have more to go. If you back this project, you can be one of the first to have Spintronics, and you'll join us for the rest of this journey. We can't wait to see where this goes. We're curious to see what you do with it, and we're excited to see the fascinating world of electronics open to everyone.
Hello and welcome back to the Isle of Cats, where we're on a 5-day rescue mission to save cats from an island before the evil Lord Vesh arrives and destroys their home. But this time, not only are we going to be rescuing cats, but we're going to be rescuing their kittens and ancient beasts that have decided to make the island their home. We've got a fleet of brand new boats that you're going to have to learn to use as you adapt to crazy events that are unfolding across the island. My name is Frank, and I'm the designer and publisher of the Isle of Cats, and I'd like to take a minute to thank you for checking out this campaign. If you're new to the Isle of Cats, you're going to want to look at the new arrival reward tiers, while if you already own the game, you're going to want to look at the veteran rewards. As you scroll down the Kickstarter page, you'll notice it's been split into sections, and each section has a section number in the top right-hand corner. These are designed to help you navigate the page. If you're looking for the rewards, head to section 9. If you'd like to see a rulebook or how to play, head down to section 21. You'll find a full page of contents in the FAQ tab here on Kickstarter. But we're not just here for expansions. We've got the big 2-minute box that's going to store everything for the Isle of Cats, but also help you set up the game and get playing in just 2 minutes. We've also got Explore and Draw that offers a brand new way to experience the Isle of Cats in just 30 minutes. And for the next 30 days, you're going to find me in the comments section. So if you've got any questions, feel free to drop by and let me know. I'd love to help answer them so you can make an informed decision about whether this Kickstarter's for you. If you don't have any questions, just drop by and say hi. It'd be great to get to know you. And as this new adventure begins, I want to thank you once again for checking out the Isle of Cats.
In Mosaic, you guide an ancient civilization from its founding. Your decisions will determine whether it will thrive and be remembered as the greatest civilization in history, or falter and be lost to the sands of time. Guiding your civilization means making all the important decisions. Which type of leader you will have. Which technologies you'll start with. Where you'll place your starting city. And which resources you'll acquire for your trade network. How you'll develop the lands around your cities. Build amazing wonders, or found cities elsewhere to dominate new lands. Make the right decisions and your civilization will enjoy golden ages and achieve great milestones. Your decisions will create the mosaic of your unique civilization and determine whether your civilization stands the test of the ages or is forgotten forever. Mosaic, a story of civilization. The next classic from Forbidden Games. Available on Kickstarter, starting May 11th.
Is it on?
Yeah, just read your card.
Hello! I'm an acclaimed huntress, Heliana. After an accident involving a Tarascolon, my girlfriend tells me that I must retire.
You don't like the music? It's fairly standard. We could try something different then.
In a world filled with dangerous monsters, one half-orc huntress will take on the Mecha Koboldzilla.
No. I want to talk to them directly. Adventurers. Why are you so wasteful?
Wait, what?
I've watched you so-called hunters leave your kills to rot for some poor dung sweeper to clean up. And for what? A few coins from a guild? No. The true reward is carving up a creature and crafting it into something badass. Battle scars may be a choice fashion statement, but an aboleth leather jacket? Now that will turn some heads. And what about the parts you can't eat or craft, like monster souls?
Excuse me?
That's when you get your trusty soul jar to help you get a clean enough kill to turn that big old beastie into a small, round pet to aid you in battle. I don't have a problem. Anyway, so I forged a new weapon to help storytellers and monster hunters alike. I call it book.
It's already been invented.
Big enough to crack a dragon's skull. I packed this 5th edition supplement full of creatures, craftable items, a new monster tamer class, and more. Back! Heliana's Guide to Monster Hunting on the Kickstarter today! How was that? Peeper, do you think we'll get funded? Peeps?
From hoodies to goodies, Actually fans want a lot of things, but there's one thing they want above all else. That's an Actually home game. Hi, I'm Mike Trapp, creator and host of Actually, the game of nerdy corrections. It's like Jeopardy for nerds or Trivial Pursuit for the even trivialer. I give players a false statement about a nerdy topic. Players must correct me, beginning with the phrase,
Actually,
Hopelessly Devoted to You is not in the original Broadway production of Grease.
Rachel, you did not say actually.
You!
But I'm not.
It's cutthroat.
Don't know the correction? You can also finesse your way into a win. For example,
actually Andrew Garfield. There's something with it that was weird. So it wasn't just him straight up.
That is correct, but I don't like your attitude.
That's why I'm here, to make you mad.
We launched the game back on YouTube in 2017. At the time, we had no idea we'd do a second episode, let alone build a professional set, have on guests like Matt Mercer and Rachel Bloom, or get laid off by our parent company just before a pandemic. You know, throughout the entire run, fans have been asking for a version of Actually they can play at home with their friends and family. Now, thanks to Dropout being completely independent, we can find... Brennan?
Actually, you are not fully independent.
Can you be more specific?
You are partnering with Wiggles 3D, a board game company.
That is correct. Yes. We've never made a game or a Kickstarter before, so we turned to the experts. Wiggles 3D, creator of 5-Minute Dungeon, 5-Minute Mystery, and 5-Minute Egg, to make Actually, actualized. And with that, I'd like to introduce you to Connor from Wiggles 3D to tell you more about the game.
Thanks, Trap. I'm Connor Reed, and I'm a huge Actually fan, so I jumped at the chance to work with Trap on the official game. And what we've created is something that's packed with content. It's got shiny questions, it's got real-life skills, it's got whiteboards, it's just like the show. You'll be able to customize every game you play with questions from categories you actually like. Whether you've been a fan of the show for a long time, or just learning about it now, we know you're gonna love this game.
Actually is played over 12 rounds, one for each card. Question cards each have a category, such as cartoons, comics, crosswords, fantasy, games, or sci-fi. Actually, Becca, crosswords is not a category, you just made that up. That's right. Shiny and real-life cards incorporate the whiteboard. Players will draw their answers simultaneously, after which the host will have them reveal one at a time and choose the points winner or winners for the round.
So with all that, we sold one copy of the game to an eccentric millionaire, and you can't have it. Oh, Brennan?
Actually, you're funding this on Kickstarter.
That's right, that makes more sense. You see, making games is expensive. Remember the part about us getting laid off? I sure do. So we need your support to turn it from an maybe to an actually. And with your support, you can receive rewards such as...
Actually, the game for up to 6 players! That's 6 whiteboards with score markers and 6 dry erase markers. Sure, 666 is the devil's number, but the only devil here is the mischievous Michael Trapp! With over 400 questions about fantasy, sci-fi, cartoons, comics, and games, including 80 shiny questions and 40 real-life skill questions. But that's not all. The Actually Deluxe Edition game for up to 8 players with over 250 more questions about anime, the 80s and 90s, and horror! Oh, the horror! The horror of having so much game to play! The Actually Community Deck, with questions derived from topics created by and voted upon the Kickstarter community, from your mouth to your board game shelves, and physical props from the actual real-life set! That's right, we're giving them away! Everything must go, and will ultimately be replaced. Don't worry, we're not going out of business, we're in the business of giving you rewards! I'm Brennan Lee Mulligan, this is my real voice reminding you as always to get in the comments! Get in them!
Now, here at College Humor /Wiggles3D /Mike Trapp Enterprises, we pour our hearts into everything we do, which is why there are 6 corrections, 6 things wrong with this very video. So please support our Kickstarter and bring home a copy of the game you like about the things you love.
Hi, I'm Peter Chakowski, creator of the Story Engine deck, and I'm back with a powerful new tool to help you get past the roadblocks of world building and start creating your best material. Deck of Worlds is a standalone deck of prompts that you can use to create imagined lands, local lore, and story-driven world maps that you can explore through writing and roleplay. It contains hundreds of world-building prompts written by an international team of writers, making it ideal for storytellers, novelists, dungeon masters, RPG players, map makers, and more. Let me show you a quick rundown of how it works. The deck combines 6 types of cards in simple ways to create layered micro-setting with a meaningful past, present, and future. First, draw a region card. This is the underlying environment of the area. Next, a landmark card. This adds a point of interest for your region. Next, draw a namesake card. This gives your region or landmark an in-world nickname that hints at deeper lore and how people in the world think of the area. Next, draw an origin card. This gives the area a storied past. Then, an attribute card to add detail about the area and who lives there in the present. Finally, an advent card will provide a current event or crisis that could change the future of the setting, and it provides a great entry point for your story or campaign. Cards provide multiple options called cues, so you can customize the kind of setting you want to create. And just like that, you have a nuanced setting with enough detail to start writing a scene or exploring with your players. These micro settings are designed to be adjustable enough and portable enough that you can drop them into an existing fictional world of yours, or you can build a whole new setting around them. You can combine multiple micro settings to create a sprawling world full of connected history, landmarks, terrain types, ecosystems, cultures, and civilizations. You can even create side maps, zooming in on areas in greater detail. I think the Deck of Worlds could be a game changer for world building. It's designed to actually move the starting line for your creativity past the doubt of what should I create, or is this good enough, and just get you to that sweet spot where you are having fun, you're creating, and you're doing your best work. It comes with rules for multiplayer modes, so you can actually build collaborative settings with your friends, enemies, or D&D party. Prompts in the main deck are all genre neutral, although they tend to work best for fantasy, but you really can create any kind of imagined setting you want. You can also get specialized expansion decks focused on your favorite genres, like fantasy, science fiction, and horror, or cartography expansions focused on certain climate types, like deserts, Arctic areas, and coastlines. Plus, we have a really cool set of creative expansions. One for inspiring in-world lore fragments, one for posing keyhole questions that open up larger revelations about your setting, and one for creating adventure hooks and location-based quests that you can customize using elements either drawn from your setting or from the original Story Engine deck. Speaking of which, I am also thrilled to unveil 3 new expansions and 6 new booster sets for the original Story Engine deck. You can now draw on elements like mystery, fairy tales, gothic horror, backstories, and even enchanted items. Finally designed one master box that can hold all of the expansions from the original Story Engine deck and the new one. So please consider pledging and help me spread the word about this Kickstarter. The Story Engine deck has always been powered by word of mouth. With the first campaign, it was incredible to see a community of storytellers come together to make the project bigger and better than anything I could have imagined. For Deck of Worlds, I cannot wait to see the settings, the projects, and the worlds that you dream up together. Thank you so much. Please consider clicking pledge on Kickstarter or going on to learn more about the deck, expansions, and rewards. And whatever you do, keep on telling stories.
Dice are probably one of the oldest gaming tools known to humanity. They've even found them buried in an ancient tomb under the sands of Egypt. It's said they could be over 5,000 years old, but no one knows precisely when and where they originated. In India, an epic tells of 4 ages of man, each named after a dice throw. If there were even one unfavourable throw, the world would be different? No luck this time. Let's try that again. Spherical dice sets designed for RPGs and tabletop games. At 25mm in diameter, they are as easy to use as regular dice. They have a hand-sculpted exterior, a precise, computer-designed internal structure, internal weight that decreases the rolling time, combined together to create fully working spherical dice. Now, we need your support to start manufacturing them and to create more stunning designs. Pledge now and let's roll for fun.